Happy New Year's. It is not a fun time to be a Kaguya-sama Love is War fan. Ringing in the New Year's with some very interesting news around Kaguya-sama Love is War. But yes, they just released the Kaguya-sama Love is War Stairway to Adulthood special, which I did watch, and I did really enjoy as an anime only. But there was something nagging at me the entire time I was watching the episode. There's like this feeling like I'm watching a movie or a cutscene and I may have accidentally hit the skip forward button. Something feels off. I missed a scene. What's going on with this character over here? There's obviously something I'm missing context-wise there. Well, I found out quickly why after I finished the episode and was looking into it that, yeah, it looks like they skipped a whole bunch of the manga. And it makes sense, I mean, again, from an anime-only perspective, because the entire episode is from Kaguya's perspective, and she's reminiscing on what has unfolded since the last time we've seen them. We had the movie where they had the confession, everything like that. They're getting together, and then now we jump forward, and she's got this little photo album, and she's talking about what has kind of unfolded since then. And I felt like it was almost like an after story. You get that a lot with the rom-com stories. They'll get together and they'll eventually finally confess, and then you'll jump forward and they're an adult and they're going, oh yeah, I remember that one time that happened and that happened. And it was cute. I did like the stories. I mean, especially cute moments with Kaguya. Like her under the sheets was super adorable with that little hoo-hee noise. It was so cute. Finding out how Shirogane and his family get out of debt. Apparently the father got into YouTubing. Well, the father was doing really well, but we come to find out that the reason why he was making so much money was because Kay would walk behind him and get in camera frame, and people started super chatting her like crazy. And eventually she started to launch her own channel, and people are just simping like crazy on her, and she knows damn well what she's doing. She like sitting in front of there going, oh, you guys should be better with your money and everything. And it's like, yeah, you know what you're doing, girl. You totally know what you're doing. She's making bank. But of course, the second half building into, of course, the big moment between Miyuki and Kaguya, and spicy. Really great. Great little afterwards as well, like them both being flustered over the situation. It was super good. Like I said, as an anime only, I really liked the episode. It was super good. Great moments with the characters. A lot of stuff that you kind of expect in the after story of this. But the problem was, again, when I look back and I actually look into what actually happened here, that's where I'm like, oh, that kind of sucks. Even though, again, for anime onlys, it's probably not that big of a deal. Other than to say that, hey, if you want more stories, you're going to have to go read the manga, unless they come back and revisit this stuff. But yes, what I found out was that essentially the last film that we had, it ended on like chapter 150, 160, around that range, 150 to 160 chapter range. The entirety of Kaguya-sama Love is War is 281. This pretty much adapted bits and pieces throughout that entire segment. That big span, that entire second half of the manga, they just grabbed parts of it, adapted whatever they want to adapt, the important parts, and completely skipped the rest. And with this recent announcement that they're going to do a final movie, this pretty much confirms that they're not adapting all that stuff. Now, like always, they can totally pull a Horimiya or something like that, come back later on and go, here's a side OVA that's going to cover this character story or this character story. I don't know. I think it's going to be based on whatever's in this film would be telling for that. But the film itself, the announcement, they said that it's been decided that the final chapter of Kaguya-sama Love is War will be produced. It is currently being produced with a completely original story written by Aka Akazaka. Please look forward to further news. So this kind of tells me that it's not going to adapt things that have been skipped. So never mind that statement that I made earlier. Because I've heard that there's like an entire bit on Shinomiya's family. There's a whole bit on Ishigami. There's like stories for each individual character and what they do building into the conclusion of the story. Like, I mean, I think there's even one for Hayazaka. So those stories apparently they skipped aren't being adapted. They're completely skipping it. So for anime onlys, if you're going to want those stories, you're going to have to go back to, again, 150 or something like that, chapter 150, and read from there to get those stories. Anime ain't going to cover it. They said no. Which I've been hearing a lot of mixed responses from people. Some people are saying that the later part of this series of the manga isn't good. And so that could possibly be why they're deciding to skip it and just anime original the ending make the new movie. Hopefully it has a better ending or conclusion to everything. Kind of keep it very simple and concise and conclude it. I don't know. Either way, it does kind of really suck for a lot of people. But I kind of wonder, honestly, with how much negativity kind of circles Akasaka's works, if this may potentially be a sign for what's to come with Oshinoko. Because I heard that when Oshinoko ended, there was quite a bit of stir up about the fact that the ending of Oshinoko was not good. And yes, every single time I cover Oshinoko, every time I do an episode impression of Oshinoko, somebody's got to be in the comment section saying, Akasaka sucks, his ending sucks, don't bother watching this, you're going to get yourself built into something that you're going to be disappointed just like we were, something like that. I keep telling people, I'll see when it happens. I'm going to enjoy this series just like you guys enjoyed it for the longest time, and then when I get to the ending, I'll be disappointed just like you guys are. But for now, I'm enjoying it. But I kind of wonder with what I'm now hearing with negativity around Kaguya-sama Love is War's ending as well, and them doing this, what is the potential that this may be a sign as to what might happen with Oshinoko in the future? That Oshinoko at some point might start skipping a bunch of chapters and then come out with an original ending to conclude everything. I don't know. We'll see. I will say, though, there is sort of signs as to what this original movie could end up being, and that's around the very end of the special. At the very end of the special, they say specifically, with the boys and girls now as adults. So they're implying, at least with the end of the special, that this could be a massive jump forward. Like, they might actually get into them as adults. I'm not sure what they mean by adults. If they're talking like, 20s, maybe 30s, doubt it. Anime rarely ever creates in the realms of 30s for characters that start out in their teens. But we potentially can get in the 20s. But that would be interesting to kind of see if potentially Akasaka will take them even further than potentially where the manga did. Again, it's supposed to be original. He's going to be building off something there. And could this potentially get into, I think, one of the only stories that, honestly, I'm not sure if they've actually fully developed. You could probably make arguments for a lot of these characters and what arcs they may have potentially skipped, but I'm not sure if you can really get around Shirogane and Shinomiya's relationship. Because one of the things they built up from the very beginning was the fact that they're keeping their relationship a secret and the issues that it might cause. And yes, the status of Shinomiya and the debt that Shirogane had. These two are kind of polar opposites. They're like from different regions of the world. And there may be potentially issues with them getting together. I'm not sure if the manga ever dealt with that, but I do know that a lot around Shinomiya was in that skip segment. So I'm not sure if that potentially was revolving around her having a relationship with Shirogane or not. It's definitely an interesting time to be a Kaguya-sama Love is War fan. I will say that for all the manga fans out there, for me, as a perspective of an anime only, I don't know that I would ever have noticed if I didn't have it pointed out to me. But I will say that I'm not too bothered, just because while I did really love the first seasons of Kaguya-sama Love is War, I'm not that massively invested anymore. So I'm not like that hurt by this. But I will keep my judgment on the series overall until I see this movie and really see where he potentially is taking this story going forward. But anyways, that's my thoughts on Kaguya-sama Love is War Stairway to Adulthood and the announcement of the original movie by Akasaka. We'll see if this, again, is sort of him trying to repair the ending that everybody is claiming is supposed to be bad, or potentially this is signs for the future of Oshinoko. I think that's probably the bigger question mark that I have based on the fact that right now I'm extremely invested in Oshinoko. And so I'm kind of curious if this is sort of a sign of that. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, hit the like button down below. If you like this content and you want to support the channel more, become a member of the channel. Until next time, y'all take care.